The good book says that what is dark will surely come to light, and the armor of the righteous shines throughout the blackest night. We're shining the light through the dark until the lost are finally found. As I stand on the ground of this red, white, blue, we bring a voice to innocence and fight for justice all around. It's more than a feeling. It's right where I stand, with a heart full of fire and a pen in my hand. Daphne's case files will prevail.
Hello, everybody. How is everybody doing today? Hope the sound is okay and I'm not freezing up like a robot. We will be going over the Nancy Guthrie case. I have a lot to go over with you guys, so I'm going to let you mingle in. I have actually done like a illustration which shows like motives and who would have a motive to let's put this lightly, like to remove Nancy from her home while she was sleeping in bed. So I'm going to go over the newest information concerning the Pima County Sheriff. He also did a couple statements, and the private investigator also spoke out just recently. This is all new information. We're also going to go over mines in the area close to Nancy's home. I have like a full show for everybody. So please welcome in. I appreciate all of you for being here. I know I've been doing lives with Justin, so I'm kind of getting back into my own groove to do lives with myself right now to see how everything goes. You guys know my computer's a little slow, so hopefully it will hang in with us today. So I'm going to welcome in everybody, and we're going to jump right into Nancy Guthrie and location, motives, and who could be responsible for taking her out of her home. So welcome in, everyone. Hi, Anastasia. Good to see you. Hi, Baffled. Good to see you. Thank you. I appreciate you watched the video yesterday. Thank you. Tina, hi. Kim, hello. Hello. Good to see all of you. Kimberly, hello. Hi, Nova. Good to see you. Thank you. Dana, good to see you. Hi, Miss Haley. Thank you for being here. Cindy, hello. Miss Carol and Lori, hello. Anastasia, hello. Let's see. Mary Ann, hello. Tina, everybody, hello. If I missed you, hello. Thank you. I want to jump right in because I have a lot to show you guys. Hi, just me. Hi, Robin. Good to see you. So check this out. We will be going over Nancy Guthrie, motive and location, you guys. First, I'm going to go ahead and read this new information that literally just came out with the sheriff. So let's get into that. Give me 1 second. I'm going to show you this information here. And this is from X. So he literally just posted this on X. I want to make sure you guys can see this here. Oops, I got to remove this first. So used to Justin like showing everything. Okay, so the Pima County Sheriff's Department, they actually posted a few things. So he says private search parties. So there's been an issue with some private search parties. He's stating that people actually have to have permits to go look for Nancy Guthrie. Isn't that crazy? I don't know. I understand going on private property and stuff like that. But what about going to just like parks, or you know how people hike and stuff through the mountains and stuff? Is that okay? Or do you have to have a permit for that? Kimberly, thank you so much for becoming a new member here at Daphne's Case Files. We welcome you and appreciate you for being here, hon. Thank you so much. Yes, case of Little Man. There's something definitely odd with this sheriff, you guys. I don't know what his deal is. I really don't. And that whole reality TV show that he's got going on is just, it's plain out weird. It's just weird, guys. Like, I don't know how I feel about that. So he goes on to say that private search parties, volunteer search groups have inquired about being in the area per the sheriff. They were asked to please give investigators the space they need to do their work. And then he goes to say, we appreciate their concern and we all want to find Nancy, but this work is best left to professionals. And Pima County Sheriff's Department has volunteer opportunities if they wish to get involved with the department. Now, there's been rumors that they're not fully staffed and stuff. And then, if you remember correctly, a lot of these deputies are newer. Do you guys remember hearing that? So it goes on to say the private property laws apply, and it's up to each individual property owner to grant permission for someone to search the property, which is completely understandable. It's completely understandable because there's insurance reasons. So if somebody gets hurt on somebody's property, yes, you want to make sure that you have the okay with the property owner because, I mean, just a simple note, right, can work. But I'm sure a lot of these people that are living out there, they've searched their property. I mean, I would, right? Like I would completely like be searching every nook and cranny in my property. Okay, so I'm going to remove this and we're going to go over to the brand new information that just came out with the private investigator. Give me 1 second. Do this here. All right, I'm just going to put that like that so my face isn't freezing up. Hi, guys. Thanks a lot for being here. I appreciate all of you. So this is the new update. I'm just going to read through this. Savannah Guthrie missing, mom live updates. Police ask media to clear out ASAP as authorities tighten access. So yeah, they have been blocking the road, you guys. Literally blocking the road. I'm going to play this for you guys. Give me a second. Let me make sure the volume's up. All right. Volume up on that. Okay. I
hired a lady to be like the house manager.
Oh, they're going to show me an ad, aren't they? Give me a second. You know what? We'll just read through it. So it says the search for missing 84-year-old Nancy Guthrie has been going on nearly for 3 weeks. Yes, it's been 21 days, you guys, with Pima County Sheriff Chris Nanos attracting more scrutiny following reports questioning his handling of the investigation into today's host, Savannah Guthrie's missing mother. The FBI is desperate to take over the probe from Nanos. What do you guys think? I want you to put a 1 in the chat if you think the FBI should completely take over Nancy's case, or put a 2 in the chat if you think that they should leave Nanos as is now. What do you guys think? I want to know your opinion on this. 1, yeah. So 1, FBI takes over, Nanos goes sit on his couch. Yeah, everybody agrees, right? So we can all agree that not doing a very good job, right, guys? And he'll say one thing one day and then backtrack. He'll say, I didn't say that, you know? 1 times a million. I love that, Kimberly. Yeah, same here. I agree with all of you guys. And, you know, I back the blue. Like I do. I back the blue. But this guy, I don't know, guys. There's something up with him. There's definitely something going on. It's just baffling, you know? So it goes on to say the search for missing 84-year-old Nancy Guthrie has been ongoing for nearly 3 weeks, 21 days. And Nanos is attracting more scrutiny following reports questioning his handling of the investigation. So the FBI is desperate to take over the probe. And it says DNA taken from gloves found near Guthrie's home did not match any samples in the FBI database. So officials announced Tuesday, leading to another dead end, right? Now, the private investigators, this just came out 60 minutes ago. And let me see if I can pull this up real quick. All right. So private investigator claims cartel behind Nancy Guthrie's abduction. Guys, do you think the cartel is behind Nancy Guthrie's abduction? I don't. If the cartel, why are they just going to go and take an elderly woman out of her bed? And they would definitely do it for money, right? And they would definitely be asking for more than $6 million, right? Yeah, I don't believe so either, you guys. I don't either. And in my opinion, I don't believe Nancy is in Mexico. I just don't. I mean, yes, it's close by, right? What did they say? Like 12-minute drive? Or no, they said 12 miles or something like that. I'd have to find the exact. But to drive to Mexico, yes, it is possible. But I just don't understand. Like if the ransoms were real, right? Like if there was any legitimate to them, I feel that they would want to swap right away. Like, give me my money. Here's Nancy. End of story. I don't think it'd be going on for far too like this long now, right? The cartel would have done and over with. Exactly. Yes. I agree with that, JDR. I agree with that. I personally think the brother-in-law. Yeah, I know that the sheriff has cleared the family, but we're still allowed our opinions, right? And I guess they've been calling him Tomato or something. I was like, who's Tomato? Tomato Tommaso. We'll see. You know what I mean? But I don't know. That's just my opinion. Until the FBI actually comes out and says that everybody's cleared, then, we'll have to look another way. But hi, Cassie. Good to see you. I don't feel good about Precious Nancy's. I don't either. I really don't. Thanks all. Pretty sure it's just, I hope you feel better, Miss Cassie. That sucks. No sinus infection. I still feel like this case is really close to home and the sheriff has dismissed the family too early. I can agree with you. It's me, Laura. I am on the same page as you. I am. I feel there has been a concerted effort to spin this as a kidnapping story. Yeah, I can see that. We're allowed to say that. Okay. Yeah, I know, right? Our opinions, right? What do we say? Do we think Tyler Henry could help Daphne? Could. Yeah, could definitely. Anybody could help, right? All right, let's oops, did I literally just, okay, give me a second, you guys. We're going to go read what the private investigator has to say, and then I'm going to jump right in. All right, there we go. All right, you guys. So this goes on to say Nancy Guthrie may have been abducted by drug cartel, but may still be in Arizona. One private investigator believes. So this must be the private investigator that the family hired, I'm guessing. It says Bill Garcia, a California-based PI. No, he doesn't look like the private investigator that they hired. With more than 35 years of experience, told Border Report he thinks the 84-year-old was abducted in a money-making venture by people involved with the cartel, but not taken into Mexico. That particular area of Arizona is a high drug and money transporting area, Garcia said. All right, so private investigator. Okay, so here's another photo of him. He goes on to say, it has deepened my belief that this is in some way related to a money-making venture by people involved with the cartel. But the thing is, I disagree with this man, and maybe he has more information than I do. But if it was cartel involved, they would want the money right away and they would give Nancy back. I don't see any other way around it. And it goes on to say Guthrie, the mother of Today's Show host Savannah Guthrie, was reported missing from her Tucson home on February 1st. Authorities have said she was likely taken from her residence overnight, and the FBI has released surveillance image. So there's one of our masked mans. I believe there's more than one, and I think everybody can agree with me here. Says the motive for the apparent kidnapping remains unclear. Officials have ruled out a burglary gone wrong, and Pima County Sheriff's Office Chris Nanos has said Guthrie could have been taken as revenge for something. And I agree completely with this, revenge for something. But little else has been made public. Garcia pointed to surveillance footage, arguing the suspect doesn't appear to be very sophisticated. I can I don't know what I feel like. I feel that this person is very, I don't know, they didn't really leave much behind. He does things a professional would not do, Garcia said. For instance, the way he approaches the camera. Why would he pick up some shrubbery? Okay, I want to tell you guys something. Why would he pick up some shrubbery as if it didn't effectively cover up the camera? Someone said this the other day. Someone mentioned that the reason why he picked up shrubbery is because it doesn't send notifications as if a person is there. So basically, on your Ring camera, and it'll just say motion. It'll say motion activated. It won't say person detected. So if you put the shrubbery or a plant or something over the camera will detect motion and it won't detect a person. Does that make sense? Someone mentioned that the other day. I was like, that kind of makes sense to me. What about you guys? Does it make sense? Yes, the point of entry was not possibly identified. I agree. Yep, I agree, Booger. May someone sending a message to Savannah to stay. I thought about that too, Tina. I really thought about that. But I feel like if it was directed more at Savannah, wouldn't Savannah get the ransom letters and wouldn't... I don't know. I feel like it's not directed at her. I don't know. I just don't feel that, but I could be completely wrong. The PI goes on to say he also cited the suspect's clothing and gear, describing a holster typically made in Mexico that he said appeared too big for the actual sidearm the person had. Just the appearance and mannerism makes me believe it's a low-level associate, Garcia said. So there's a picture of the home. That's from her garage area right here, and that's the front of the home right here. I believe the perpetrator was either parked or came in from this area and walked this way. And then we know the back door back here was open. We also know that this electrical box here was just redone. Like they actually put in grounding wires and had permits and stuff like that for not too long before that, like the middle of January. Do you guys remember that? And then I think I showed that yesterday's video. And there was a light over in this area that was busted out as well. So it goes on to say, if Nancy did come to the front door and contacted this person, I suspect there may be some type of struggle, most likely after the camera was removed, he added. Police have said blood was found on the porch, but not leading away from the home. Now, there was blood in the driveway, though. Garcia says he believes she was forced back inside where another kidnapper was waiting. Now, that could be possible. What do you think? Do you think maybe that Nancy, the camera was sending off motions or whatever because the perpetrator had put that plant on there? So maybe she was just going to go outside and take it off, or I don't know. I don't think so. We were told that she was found inside of in her bed. So her hearing aid and everything was right next to her. So I don't think that's true. It goes on to say authorities have not endorsed Garcia's cartel theory. Despite speculation she may have been transported south of the border, Garcia said he doubts that the scenario because of the heavy law enforcement present between Tucson and Mexico. They would have to choose a location that is safe and where they're less likely to be caught in the act. Why I suspect she would be somewhat north of Tucson in that 100 to 130 mile area between Tucson and outside Phoenix and Mesa, Arizona, he said. I like that picture of her. It says FBI sources said this week that Guthrie may be in Mexico, while Nanos has claimed his team's evidence puts her in Tucson. Unnamed sources told TMZ the FBI had contact with Mexican officials about the case, but Border Patrol Officer Leon Boyer, an expert on Mexican security, previously told the Post he does not believe cartels would be involved, and I do not either. I do not either. All right, what do you guys think about that? Let me go and remove this real quick. Is everybody having a good day? I am going to show you all some stuff real quick. So check this out. 1 second. I made this. This is like it's not a family tree, but it's like a branched out. Give me 1 second. Add that to stage. So I made this today. It's kind of corny, but it's very simple to follow. I think so too. Hi, Lolo. Good to see you. Thanks everybody for being in chat. I appreciate you. Yeah, I love hearing your thoughts on this. So this motive to kidnap or unalive elderly woman. So this is based off statistics, right? This starts with family, right? The family's on top. And you can have like financial strain, caregiver stress, disgruntled, and then it kind of branches off. So say like we go from family to financial strain, and then like dispute, stuff like that. This would be disgruntled, like inheritance dispute, debt. And then it goes from family to caregiver stress, overburdened, right? And then you have your neighbors, right? You have your neighbors underneath that. And like nuisance complaints, random crime, boundary disputes, which I highly doubt any of this. Strangers, random crime, identity theft. Then I made this too. So, and this is based off of Nancy, right? And it goes like this is supposed to be Nancy, like family, adult, children. And it goes on to say like financial gain, inheritance, resentment, caregive. I don't know why that's spelled like that. Caregive stress, financial gain, inheritance, abusive relationship. And then it shows here that it says like no signs of forced entry. Her valuables were untouched. It was just her taken. And then it goes like family, grandchildren, stuff like that. Spouse, we know she doesn't have a spouse anymore. He passed away. And I wanted to mention something as well. So her spouse had passed away, and they have owned this home since 1975, you guys. That's a long time. And I know Justin and I spoke about before that she had done some like something with her mortgage, like she refinanced her home a few times. But to think about, like, her house should have been paid off, but she might have done it just to like fix her house up and stuff. What do you guys think? Revenge, resentment, anger. Yeah, I agree. So, and then it goes on to like caregivers. Like, could it be somebody that, like a medical professional that would come to the home? And but that's like if she was on hospice or something, right? Like, she wasn't on hospice. Says caregivers, close associates, financial gain, abuse, conflict. And then it just kind of arrows for financial professional contacts, debt, crime of opportunity, and then in-laws, right? Debt, conflict, ransom note found, demands not met. And then strangers, random act, crime of opportunity, which it's really hard to believe that it was a stranger. And this one kind of goes into more of a detail, right? So her grandchildren are too young. I don't even want to talk about that. But adult children, inheritance, caregiver burden, financial strain, and then goes over just the regular caregivers, goes job dissatisfaction, personal grievances, and then you have your neighbors, financial professionals, debt collection, insurance fraud. That I think we can cross that out. This is in-laws. I don't know why it says inlays. But and then you go to your strangers, opportunists, and then others from her past, right? Unresolved conflicts and revenge. And then just another one that's, I did a couple of them. So what do you guys think of those? Hi, Joyous. Good to see you. Hi, Cal. Good to see everybody. Thanks for being here. All right. So I have some more I want to show you as well. This one is actually statistics and body location. So we're going to go over this. Give me just a second. And this one is, so it's general U.S. patterns of body disposal locations. And first it starts off like, this is based on her area, right? Where she lives, Nancy lives. And rural non-urban areas dominate in multiple analysis. So 64% of body deposition sites, right? And one large sample were a rural area, fields, woods, remote land versus 28% urban and 8% water related. Other studies show that 41 to 57% of disposals in non-urban agriculture forests areas, excluding water bodies. So there's not too much water around, right, guys? I mean, you're in the desert. Rural sites often chosen for lower visibility and delayed discovery. And then proximity and transport bodies are frequently moved to short distances. Many disposals occur 50 meters from a road. Tracked after transport, common in a vehicle-based dumps. So this, I know a lot. Hi, Jen. Good to see you. I know a lot of this has to go off of if she's no longer alive. Just FYI, I know you guys can figure that out. And it says I already did that one. Offenders often use vehicles for transport, followed by carrying or dragging. Concealment methods, common covering with local debris, leaf litter, branch rocks, around 35% in some data sets. No concealment attempt, 14% roadside. Shallow graves, 12%, deep barrels or other methods, bins, water, less frequent. And then in the desert, right, it says natural, it just talks about the body can occur due to heat, dryness, slowly, I don't even really want to read that, but preserving some tissue concealments often uses sand, rocks, or natural features. Bodies found within 24 to 48 hours, more likely indoors / residence or at the site, right? And delayed recovery, 48 hours or more, often outdoors, remote, increasing scattering animals, environmental factors. And we know there's a lot of animals out there, like the coyotes and what is it, Javieres? Is that how you pronounce them? Oh, hi, good to see you. Hi, Annalise. Good to see everybody. Thanks for coming in. Appreciate y'all for being here. So I did a couple more of these. So it just talks about the area that she would, if she's no longer with us, and then maybe like where they would put her, right? I also did a map too that I want to show you guys. So give me 1 second. Thanks everybody for being here. I appreciate all of you. Everybody having a good weekend? So I did this here, is really cool. There's another map here. Can everybody see that? Let's make it larger here. So this is a map I did. Oh, let's see. No, not that one. Well, I didn't do this map. Excuse me. These are some of the maps that I found. Excuse me. So potential routes, right, from her residence. And this right here to Mount Lemon, which is very rural out in this area. And it kind of shows like a 5-mile radius, right, around her house. Here's Skyline Drive, and Oracle and Campbell Road is where they really have been searching, where they found like the glove and the mask and stuff, right? Hi, Woman's Warrior. Good to see you. I know this case is just, that's crazy. All right. Let me pull up something real quick for you guys. Oh, something Nancy Grace mentioned. Nancy Grace had mentioned something about our perpetrators. So this person here, no backpack, right? It doesn't even look like they have holes in the mask, right? Like for their eyes and stuff. Do you guys notice that? So this is, and then they have like this black, like stripe on their shoe right here when the other guy doesn't. Like you can't. So this is one and this is the other. That's creepy, right? Like imagine looking out your window and seeing that at night. That's so creepy. So Nancy was like, yeah, it's like they correlated their outfits together because they look the same, right? And it made me think of this, like when they all matched. I don't know. What do you guys think? Like when the perpetrators had correlated their outfits, it made me think of the family when they all matched their outfits for Christmas. I don't know. I just, something, I don't know. Something doesn't seem right to me there. So this, did you know that they actually found, let me pull it up real quick for you guys. Am I freezing up? They actually found some blood on the gloves. And I want to go over that with you guys real quick. 1 second. Let me pull it up real quick. All right. Let me remove this real quick and add the gloves. January 11th. So yeah, we can go over that. They actually, all right, give me a second. I'm going to pull up this video real quick is where they found the blood on the gloves. Let me pull her up. All right. Make sure you guys can hear this. Actually, make it larger. All right. Ooh, not that big.
In this investigation tonight, we spoke exclusively to a Tucson couple speaking out for the first time, saying they found a glove that appeared to have blood on it. So here's a look at the gloves that they shared with us. They say they found them less than a.
All right, I'm just going to pause it right there real quick. So you could see where the fingerprint is right here. You could see where this is like allegedly glove, right? Or allegedly glove, allegedly blood. And you guys see that? And it looks like maybe some over here. And supposedly there was the two gloves. So the other glove was like 10 feet away. In my opinion, someone got a hold of something about money, proceeded to hire. Yeah, I feel something like that too, allegedly. Mining. Yes, I'm going to show you some mining places, the mines in Tucson. Just give me just a second. I have to show you guys those. I want to play this first, and then we'll go over to that.
Mile from Nancy Guthrie's home last week around 10 p.m. February 11th, and that was the same day investigators later confirmed they had found another glove, the one that we know has now been tested and run through CODIS. The couple who asked not to show their faces tells me they were driving slowly down Campbell with a flashlight as they were helping out in the search when they spotted what looked like a black glove. They say a second glove was found less than 10 feet away.
So this is the second glove that was found less than 10 feet away. What is that? That looks like blood right there, doesn't it? I don't know why that would. So that's the one 10 feet away. And I'm sorry about the sound. This is as loud as it goes, guys.
They say they did not touch either. They tell me they first called the
that.
FBI tip line. They were on hold for 45 minutes. When they got through, they say the FBI took the location. They took their information. They thanked them for the tip, and then they told them they would note it, but could not guarantee someone would respond that night. So then they called the sheriff's department, and they say they were told to leave the gloves in place and that someone would respond. Concerned about rain in the forecast, which we know eventually did come, they say they then called 911. They describe multiple investigators responding very quickly, questioning them and remaining in that area till about 2 a.m. So now 9 days later, they wonder whether the gloves that you're seeing right here are connected to the ones that we told you that are being tested. The sheriff's department got back to us. They say they cannot confirm at this time whether these specific gloves are part of the evidence. They say detectives and agents have collected multiple gloves from the area, and that analysis is ongoing as part of the investigation. The FBI has not gotten back to us.
Here, I want to bring it back where, okay. Oh, wow. I went to the perfect spot. Give me a sec. Can we get off? Well, I don't know if I got to do that.
They say they did not touch either. They tell me.
There we go. Perfect. I went back to the perfect spot. Yeah, Chris, it does look like that, doesn't it? I mean, it has to be blood on there. Hi, Faye. Good to see you. Do you think that's blood on the rock? I mean, why would they show it, right? If it's not blood on the rock. And that's kind of creepy. Was it confirmed the blood on the glove didn't match? They still haven't said anything. Haley, they haven't said anything about that yet. So I can bring up my Google Earth, but if you give me just a second, I can bring it up and it'll show you exactly where these bloody gloves were found. Chris, I don't know. Oh, we were just going over statistics based on if you know, of Nancy's, and usually if she's passed, allegedly, you know what I mean, if she's no longer with us, it says that that usually she would be within a certain mileage away from the home. It's usually within like 5 to 10 miles. I think 20 to 25 miles is like at the maximum. And usually, unfortunately, bodies are found really close to the road, which is devastating, you know. I know, mine too, you guys. So these are here. I'll play it again for you guys. I'll play it again, and then we'll go over to the mines, and then we'll go to my Google Earth, and I'll show you guys exactly where they are found. Okay. And I apologize, there's no closed captions on this video, and this is the volume all the way up.
We've been telling you about gloves found in this investigation. Tonight, we spoke exclusively to a Tucson couple speaking out for the first time, saying they found a glove that appeared to have blood on it. So here's a look at the gloves that they shared with us. They say they found them less than a mile from Nancy Guthrie's home last week around 10 p.m. February 11th. And that was the same day investigators later confirmed they had found another glove, the one that we know has now been tested and run through CODIS. The couple who asked not to show their faces tells me they were driving slowly down Campbell with a flashlight as they were helping out in the search when they spotted what looked like a black glove. They say a second glove was found less than 10 feet away. They say they did not touch either. They tell me they first called the FBI tip line. They were on hold for 45 minutes. When they got through, they say the FBI took the location. They took their information. They thanked them for the tip, and then they told them they would note it, but could not guarantee someone would respond that night. So then they called the sheriff's department, and they say they were told to leave the gloves in place and that someone would respond. Concerned about rain in the forecast, which we know eventually did come, they say they then called 911. They describe multiple investigators responding very quickly, questioning them and remaining in that area till about 2 a.m. So now 9 days later, they wonder whether the gloves that you're seeing right here are connected to the ones that we told you that are being tested. The sheriff's department got back to us. They say they cannot confirm at this time whether these specific gloves are part of the evidence. They say detectives and agents have collected multiple gloves from the area, and that analysis is ongoing as part of the investigation. The FBI has not gotten back to us.
Okay, so that came out yesterday, and that was the blood on the gloves. I don't think they're back at Annie's, but they did go like 5 different times. Now I want to go to the mines. Give me a second. Let me load this. So these are the closest mines that are by Nancy's house, right? And I don't know if I'm saying this correctly, but Pontotoc mine would be the closest one by her home. See, Catalina Foothills. This one would be the closest one. Let me see if I can pull it up real quick. I'm just gonna, and then you got Pontotoc Ridge. All right, give me a second. This will show. So these are the mines. Okay. Wow, look at that. But do you guys think that she's in a mine? Ask neighbor. Yeah. So check that. These are the mines close to her home. So it overlooks. Look at that. But the thing is, guys, like, is someone really going to allegedly carry a body up here? Like, you're going to have, look, oops, you're going to have to walk. See where that lady is? You're literally going to have to walk carrying somebody, though. You know what I mean? That's a lot of freaking walking, carrying somebody, you know? Do you think someone's going to do that? Look at how far. You would have to literally walk all the way up there, guys. Look. I mean, can it be done? Yeah, but like, I don't know. But yeah, this is the closest one. Oh, that's so pretty. So there you go with the mines. I agree, spare time. Yeah, I don't think so either, Joyous. Yeah, I really don't. Yeah, I don't either, Leslie. All right, so give me just a second. I want to show you something else. So there's been a lot of criticism around the sheriff. And give me 1 second to load this. Oh, wait, no. This is what I wanted to show you. We're going to go into my Google Earth in just a second because I know, did I already show? I already showed you that. Okay, never mind. I already showed you that. Let me get rid of this and bring up my Google Earth real quick. Just 1 second. Google Earth. And you know how I've mapped out everything? I think if Nancy found out something about the sheriff and was about to expose an accomplice. I don't know, guys, but that sheriff is just weird. He's just downright freaking weird. All right, my Google Earth is loading. Hopefully it behaves. Let me get rid of this here, and we can show you some stuff. All right. Let me get to Arizona. All right. I have everything mapped out. I have even mapped out the area where they have the mahjong. I hope I'm saying that right. People are always like, you can't say it right. All right. Let's upload this map here. All right. So this is my Google Earth, guys. And you could see that my Google Earth is like crazy, right? Like I have literally mapped out every stinking thing on here. Let me reset it to north real quick. All right. Oh, let's see. So the blood on the gloves were found here. Just give it a minute to load. I feel like it's not the right. Okay. So this is where the blood or the glove, just give it a second to clear up. The Google Earth takes a long time. Yes, Stacy, I agree 100% with you. I agree, Spirit. I agree with all of you guys. Like, come on, like, right, guys? Like, if you can't do the job, like, just step away. Daphne, you're fine. You pronounced mahjong correctly. I did, yes. Thank you, Anastasia. Thank you. Yeah, you know, in one of his interviews, do I have that interview? I know I can find it. He even says, the guy even says that he wants more tourism. Mahjong, the sound of J, Mahjong. That is good thought. Yeah, it is a good theory. Yeah, I agree, Faye. All right, so check this out, you guys. I'm a weirdo, and I map out everything, like everything and anything. Okay, so this is where the bloody gloves were found. Excuse me. Can you guys all see that? Is it clear for you? Okay. And the people that actually found the gloves, they had to wait, what, 45 minutes? That's crazy. That's absolutely crazy. So I've added a line. This yellow line basically will take you from the gloves, right? And it would take you this direction. I know JLR did like a drive around the other day. And hold on one second. I got a cough. Excuse me. JLR did a drive around the other day showing the streets to where they, like, some of them they don't have street lights, right? Or cameras or anything like that. And this way, like, say the perpetrator, this is Nancy's house, right? This is her neighbor, the one that does that gym show that they had, the gym show where they had the two guys stealing something out of there. So you have Nancy's house. So if you come out of Nancy's house, but now you would have to go this way around, right? Let me see if I could spin this around a little bit. Hold on one second. So this is the back of Nancy's. This is where the back door is. This is where the broken light was. And I believe the perpetrator, they walked around this way to her front door. But per se, they came out of the neighborhood, right? And left like this. Came out and came through this direction here, right? And then made eight. This is our Campbell Road, right? And this would be, can I turn it into, let's see, give me just a second. I'm trying to change no, I don't want to do that, actually. I want to change it to a different kind of, I always use it on my phone, not my, oh, here we go. Stupid. There we go. Duh. Put the map on. Okay. Because it'll give us our street. I don't know. It's going to take a year to load. There we go. Come on. Load, load, load. All right. I've marked off everything, like where oh, I guess it doesn't want to work today for me. Let me do this here. There we go. We'll just keep it on satellite. So there wouldn't be any street lights going this way, guys. And then they found another glove down here. So they found a bunch of gloves, but these are the ones with the blood. And I'm going to zoom out some here. So the places in white are actual, like, homes and stuff like that. Most of them are. You have Nancy's neighbor that does the gym show that lives right next to her. And then if you come over here, you have like Annie's area, right? And you have the Circle K, the Chevron over here. And you know that the FBI did a lot of searching over like 3 blocks out from Annie and Tomato's home. Then you have our SWAT and our raid area, right? And then I just kind of marked off some areas here. So you have Skyline, Orange Grove. You know, those roads have been mentioned. This is Nancy actually shops here. That we heard. There's also, I want to show you guys something weird. Oracle Road, right? It's like in the middle of all this stuff, guys. Oracle Road, there's actually a place where they get together and play that mahjong game. Do you think that's strange that there's actual? So I believe they do tournaments. They teach the game, and I'm wondering if Nancy ever actually went to this place and played, or if she met people from this, because you know that she like was, her and her whole family loved playing this game, allegedly, right? Like, do you think maybe she went there at one time and met some people? Because it said on January 30th she had like a get together for her birthday, and that's what they did. They played the game. So could she had her friends over, but could she had like friends, like have a plus one, like bring a friend with them, somebody that would be an acquaintance to Nancy, or somebody that Nancy didn't know, that maybe checked out her house, left the door unlocked or something. I'm just speculating here. So that's the only thing I can think of like just a random person actually getting, you know what I mean, like getting into her home. So I have these areas also marked out where the FBI has searched. Another glove, FBI focused on there. This is actually the area where they had the gym show. And I know you guys have seen the video of the two guys, the two people that stole something from the neighbor who went to this gym show here. And one of the guys actually looks like one of the perpetrators that was at Nancy's house that night. So this is Nancy's restaurant right here. And then the mask. So you guys see that? Isn't that crazy? So I have been mapping out everything. So I'm like a map freak. Oh, thank you, Joyous. You're so freaking awesome. Thank you so much, honey. Can you guys please tell Miss Joyous thank you for those 10 gifted memberships? I appreciate you for doing that. You freaking rock. Thank you. Yeah, she's a rock star. Joyous is a rock star. Thank you. Yeah, thanks, guys. Hi, Linda. Good to see you. Yeah, so do you think that maybe, do you guys think that maybe she went there? Major day. Yeah. Oh, congratulations, you guys. Thank you. I don't know. I think it's something to definitely look at. I don't know. So, oh, there's also two other places. There's a public library as well that holds, it's a, where they have the game. Also, Mahjong Community Center. There's a community center as well as the public library. Also hold that game there. So I never heard of that game until I started following this case. Have you guys? I don't know. This is also where one of the band members lives in this area. And I also penned the landfill out here, which I thought was interesting. So what do you guys think? All right, let's see. Now I want to take you over to something. Let's remove this. Oh, did they, Joyce? I've never heard of that game. Never heard of it until this case. Now I kind of want to play it. All right, let's see. This is very interesting. So I follow someone on X, and their name is Nerdy, and they do an amazing job. Okay, Haley. Haley asked, "Where's the church?" So she actually goes to her neighbor's house to watch the church in Manhattan. So it's in Manhattan, New York. It's the one that Savannah goes to. So she goes to her neighbor's house to watch that, the church service. In my opinion, they were watching church. Yeah, they were watching the New York church service. And they talked to the Uber driver. Yeah, they did talk to the Uber driver. So check this out, you guys. Let me blow it up a little bit bigger. So this is a whole like, I'm just going to call it a case file, right? This is everything that has been mentioned in the case. It's even the timeline, evidence, everything. So this is as February 13th. Evidence, multiple gloves have been located during the investigation. Says the closest gloves were found about 2 miles from Nancy Guthrie's residence. The gloves shipped by Pima County Sheriff's Department arrived at the contracted private forensic laboratory in Florida for DNA testing and analysis. I'm going to scroll down here because I want to show you. So this has everything there. And I'm going to pin this crimetimelines.com/Nancy Guthrie timeline in the description after the video, after the live. So you guys can actually, I can just do it now. Here, I'm going to put this link into the chat if you guys want to visit. This website is great. This website is great. So I'm going to scroll down here to now, February. Let's see where we're at here. I mean, it's updated like every single day. So it's updated today. As of February 21st, 2026, the Pima County Sheriff's Department clarified that the January 31st, 2026 at 7 p.m. timestamp shown on the official evidence submission portal does not represent the missing persons report. And what is he talking about? I'm going to show you. So this is really crazy, you guys. There was this strange, so they issued this, give me a second, I'm going to just show you this missing endangered adult when Nancy went missing, and I'm going to show you what it looks like so you know what I'm talking about. Give me 1 second to pull that up. All right, there we go. And let me go here. I'm just going to remove this for a second. Okay, and then we're going to open it up in my email. All right, perfect. All right, here we go. Okay, so this is what he's talking about. So he said the 7 p.m. timestamp shown on the official evidence submission portal does not represent the missing person report time. That's crazy. Let me show you. So this was issued. Look at this. Now it says 5. Missing endangered adult. This is when Nancy went missing. And it says report filed 1/31. So it was on January 31st, 2026 at 5 p.m. Isn't that strange? Because she went missing she was reported missing on February 1st. You guys are so funny. So I'm going to show you this. Okay, so this is what's strange. So report filed on January 31st, 2026 at 7 p.m. So why does this one say 5? Why did the time change? You see that? Why the hell does the time change? Yeah, true. So maybe that's what it is. But why did they come up with 5 o'clock at first? That's so weird. Okay, and then it says, the Pima County Sheriff's Department is urgently requesting your assistance in locating Nancy Guthrie, 84, who was last seen at the evening of January 31st at her residence near East Skyline Drive and North Campbell Avenue, which is, they're just giving a roundabout address. If you have any information, please contact. So they had 5 first and then 7. But when you go over here, 1 second, go back to our timeline here, our crime line. Okay. And it says, the Pima County Sheriff's Department clarified that the January 31st at 7 p.m. timestamp shown on the official evidence submission portal does not represent the missing person report time. There you go. And then it goes on to say the sheriff's spokesperson stated that the date reflects the reference point used for the public video evidence submissions. So that's what it was, based on Nancy Guthrie's last confirmed sighting on January 31st, 2026. But the thing is, I thought that Tommaso, hold on one second. I'm going to pull up my my timeline real quick. Because it says here that family drops Nancy off at her home at 9:48 p.m. and then garage door opens at 9:49 and garage door closes at 9:50. That's a 2-minute window, which I find fascinating how a 84-year-old woman who has trouble walking that had been allegedly drinking tequila that night could actually get out of the car that fast, get inside the house, and close the garage door, right? Yes, Texas, I agree with that. Yes, he is a wackadoodle. Yes. Okay, so it says, this is the most updated information. Law enforcement confirmed the timestamp is administrative and tied to the requested evidence collection window, not the time that Nancy was reported missing. Okay. Investigators have requested the public to submit surveillance video recorded between January 1st and February 2nd, 2026. And it goes on to state that the requested footage must be recorded within a 2-mile radius of Nancy Guthrie's residence on East Skyline Drive in Tucson. The expanded date range was established to allow investigators to identify suspicious vehicles, potential surveillance activity, and movement patterns occurring before and after Nancy's disappearance. It says law enforcement confirmed Nancy Guthrie was officially reported missing on February 1st at 12:03 p.m. when her family members called 911 after discovering she was not inside her home. This clarification resolved public confusion. See how everybody was so confused about that? Caused by the portal timestamp confirming the disappearance. Investigated timeline remains anchored to February 1st, 2026. Note, the actionevidence.com public portal automatically converts timestamps to the viewer's browser time zone. That is why different people are seeing it at different times, like 5 versus 7. Thank you so much for clarifying that. 12:58 p.m. Tyler Sturges, Valair Helicopters, clarified he flew over the landfill yesterday with a laser to do mapping. He insisted it was not Guthrie related. So remember how everybody was reporting that there was a helicopter flying over the landfills? Yeah, same here too, baffled. My head is spinning. So yesterday there was a post, or I think JLR mentioned it, that there was a helicopter flying over the landfill, and it wasn't Guthrie related. So we're in the clear there. Then they got some photos down here and said, this is great. So, and then the video of the perp. And they've got all this updated, but this is great. I'll post this again in the chat if anybody wants to go take a look at it. But they've even got other case files of missing persons and stuff. So let me copy this for you guys and put it in here. I don't know, Stacy. I have no idea. I have no idea where he's at. All right, give me 1 second. I want to bring you guys to this. Yeah, so if you guys want to go to that crime timelines that Nerdy made, go ahead, and it's freaking amazing. All right, now I want to take you over to some live coverage. Give me just 1 second. Oh, Brian Enton just posted too. Give me a second. 12 minutes ago. All right, stop playing. Thank you guys for all being here. I appreciate you. All right, let's see. Let's add Mr. Brian to there. And this is Brian Enton. Let me put his name up here so I'm not rude and play his stuff. Do I have a... It's just... Okay, credit. All right. Make sure you guys can hear too. Okay. Timer off. There we go. Make sure you guys can hear that. Perfect.
My show. I really, really appreciate it. Please click to subscribe. Appreciate all the support. It is now day 21 in the search for Nancy Guthrie. It's Saturday. Outside Nancy Guthrie's house. You can see something new here. You see all these like orange barricades that they put out. That's new. You can see it in the other direction too down there. Basically, the Department of Transportation came out and put these barricades in the road. They made the road one way, just trying to control. There's so much traffic outside Nancy's house and all the media. They haven't made the media leave, which is nice, but they put the barricades out. So that just happened this morning. In this episode, though, this might be one of the more interesting episodes that I've done recently, in my opinion. I spoke to a former FBI profiler, Jim Fitzgerald, helped find the Unabomber. I mean, a really, really legit guy with an incredible work history. And he actually came up with a profile of who he thinks is responsible for Nancy Guthrie's disappearance, what he thinks that person was acting like before this happened, and what he thinks that person would be acting like now. And it could be very valuable in people who are searching for the person responsible. The other really interesting thing that I've thought a lot about, and I haven't gotten into much until I talked to Jim in this episode, is could this be a obsessed Savannah Guthrie stalker who is responsible for this? And how seriously are...
Put a 1 in the chat if you think it's like obsessed Savannah Guthrie stalker, or put a 2 in the chat if you think no, it's definitely not. Hi, Robin. Good to see you, my love. I honestly do not believe it has anything to do with Savannah, you guys. There's just not enough proof there. And I know that she's blaming herself, and she shouldn't be blaming herself. It's not her fault. It's not. You know, she couldn't, you know, I mean, her sister is 4 miles away and she couldn't stop what happened, right? Yeah, I do too, Spare Time. Yeah, I think we're all on the same page here, right? I honestly don't believe it has anything to do with Savannah.
Investigators taking that potential option. And I mean, could they be going through Savannah Guthrie's emails right now behind the scenes? Are they working with NBC? All of that seems like it's a real possibility. So I'm going to get into all of that in this episode of Brian Ensign Investigates. I'm joined now by Jim Fitzgerald. I really appreciate him coming on. He's a former FBI profiler. He was the founder of the Forensic Linguistics Studies at the FBI, host of the Cold Red podcast, which you can see the logo behind him. I really like your logo, by the way, Jim. And also author of the books, A Journey to the Center of the Mind. It's a privilege to have you on the show, Jim, just because the phase that we're at now, I've been thinking a lot about who this person is, you know, who's responsible for the Nancy Guthrie disappearance, but also what they're like right now, like trying to get into the mind of someone who has essentially gotten away with this for now. Like, what are they doing? What are they acting like? I'm curious what your profile is on this person.
Mm-hmm.
Well, again, Brian, thanks for having me on the pod again. I do appreciate it. And just a little bit of background in the profiling unit. I was there. My first case as a profiler was Unabomber, and I got sent out to San Francisco supposedly for 30 days, and I helped rewrite the profile that John Douglas did because the manifesto would come out, and that was a valuable tool that we put out there for people. And in my days in the profiling unit, you know, when the 9/11 happened, I mean, everyone, the pilots were all killed, of course, but we're still putting behavioral characteristics out there of, you know, who were their adjacents, you know, who was helping them. And certainly in order here, the anthrax case, DC sniper case, we put profiles out there, a bunch of little cases, you know, for individual cities of serial rapists and you know, killers. I'm surprised I don't see this from my former unit right now. I'm surprised it's not out there. So my Cold Red co-host podcast, Ray Carr and I, and he wasn't going to be here with us today, but he has some family issues he's handling. We put this together over the last few days. And let me go back again. I like to deal with an historical perspective. The Brown University shooting in December, Ray and I came up with a profile because no one else was putting anything out. And we were just about to go on our podcast. That was, I think, Thursday afternoon, late afternoon, and everything broke in the case. The guy was identified up in a security building of some sort, storage building, and it was resolved that night. So, but it turns out the profile we put together was pretty much right on the money. So yeah, that's what we like to do here. And I have a lot of experts have been out there, and me a little bit. What does the DNA mean in the camera? 41 minutes. This differential. That's all important stuff that the investigators are certainly discussing. But what Ray and I always like to say, a week after a big case like this, we need to get the public involved in this. What for them to look out for. And the video is great. Mm-hmm. Anybody, you recognize it, the mask, the backpack, the silly sort of gun holster that I was not familiar with, shoes, boots, anything like that. But there's also behavioral characteristics, and that's what Ray and I decided to put out, because that's what we did back in the profiling unit for the whole 12 years I was there, from the mid-90s to the 2007 when I retired. So without any further ado, we broke it into two categories for this case. Again, the abduction of Nancy Guthrie, and I'm just calling it an abduction, and I know Ray agrees with me and everything we put together here. And it was either for revenge purposes, and there's multiple categories.
Give me 1 second. So, hi guys, welcome in. I like Liza, I love that. Guys, listen to this. Yeah, I would too, baffled. So now it comes out that the 2-minute garage door opening is not registered on any device. Listen, that came from Tommaso. That came from Tommaso, not from any logged activity. You guys. So Nancy Guthrie, when she was reported missing, Sheriff Nanos said his investigators went there Saturday night on January 31st. When I logged in to make a submission on their Pima County link, this is what was in writing. So basically, Tommaso gave the information about the garage door. It's not logged. Yeah, that is what I just found out. Wow. Yep. So, wow. I was wondering, I was like, I've never heard of a log of opening and closing a garage door, but I didn't know if there was some kind of timer or something. But that says it's supposedly from Tommaso. Wow. That's freaking crazy, you guys. So I'm glad that's been cleared up.
Categories of that. Is it possible it's a for-profit kidnapping? They're the rarest of the rare in this country. Lindbergh baby, a couple in the early 90s, Frank Sinatra Jr. in the early 60s. If this was a successful abduction, whether you look at the guy's jittery behavior at the Nest camera, whatever, he still got away with it. As you said early on, it's been successful. If his attempt or their attempt was to do a for-profit kidnapping, they've done a poor job at that. And I believe at least some, if not all, of the ransom demands coming into TMZ, whomever, they're opportunists. They're coming out of, they're the Nigerian prince people out of Africa, they're Eastern European scammers, or somewhere in the US, who knows? But if this abduction successful, to summarize the crime itself, kidnapping not successful, because there's no proof of life. Every kidnapper knows you have to send some sort of proof of life, and where a watch may have been sitting in a bedroom somewhere, that's not enough. You still have to show your kidnappee is alive.
Yes, FBI has not cleared the family. Only Sheriff Lagos or Nanos. Thanos? Thanos? Like, yeah.
So when we do these types of behavioral characters, it's not really a profile, we say. It's what we break it down is to pre-offense behavior, post-offense behavior. And what I tell people in this case, look at the video, look at the size, the shape, clothing, all the things we discussed already, and then take in these characteristics, which are proven over time, and we've had a very good percentage rate with, going back 25 years. John Douglas and and Bob Ressler and people like that before I was in the unit. And these are what these people do. We've interviewed serial offenders in prison, and we know this is how they behave. And we've interviewed them afterwards, even other type during interviews and interrogations when they're first arrested, and they gave us this stuff. So let's start with pre-offense behavior. Now the kidnapping was the early morning of Sunday morning, February 2nd. So this is going to be the week before, but again, it could be extended longer, shorter. If you've lived with someone, a neighbor, a son, a colleague, coworker, whatever category, here are some features you're going to see about this person before the crime. Unusually distracted and aloof, inordinately busy, but for unclear reasons, self-absorbed, more internet time than usual. And if you happen to see some of the things he's looked up, they would be unusual factors, maybe about Savannah Guthrie, maybe about kidnappings, etc. Purchases of odd materials, and we've seen the video, we know what some of those are. Yeah. Perhaps financial issues, real or imagined, but again, I'm not sure this is a for-profit motivation here, so just keep that as a possibility. He would possess some sort of a abduction kit, and I put that in quotation marks in my notes, much like the backpack scene in the video. And again, serial rapists have rape kits, serial killers have kill kits. This would be an abduction kit, and you can imagine some of the common sense things in there, but you wouldn't just see a person carrying a bag with these kind of things in it every day. And they would include, it could be in a box, in a bowling bag. I think BTK, Dennis Rader had it in some sort of a bowling bag, all these types of items. But obviously tape of different varieties, duct tape, electrical tape, masks, restraints of some sort, rope, wire, tools, that small flashlight, which is sort of distinctive, the bite light, I think they call it, and other items related to that. And lastly, again, pre-offense behavior. If you know maybe a little bit better than maybe others would, he's obsessed with one or more female celebrities and or high-profile women. So, of course, one of them would be Savannah Guthrie, but sometimes if there's any kind of a stalking element to this, he could have other women out there that he was fascinated or obsessed upon. But for some reason, because maybe Savannah Guthrie herself wasn't available, her mother was, and he has a familiarity with the Tucson, Arizona area. So, Brian, I can hold off there on pre-offense behavior. I'm going to go into post-offense next, but do you have any questions about what I just said?
So when you said upset, so do you think it's someone who was motivated maybe by an obsession with Savannah?
I'm certainly not ruling that out. When I was in New York as an FBI agent, I had a close connection with the head of security of NBC. About 4 times a year, he'd contact me, hey, another one of our female journalists or celebrities, whatever, TV people is being harassed by this guy. Can you check it out? And it was outside of New York. He would have handled it with the NYPD. He's retired NYPD. But since there are other parts of the country, I would maybe I would interview them if they're somewhere in the New York area, but I'd also send leads out. So a lot of female people on TV, a lot of females on TV. And it's different with actors, Brian. Actors look at their fellow actors when they're doing their scenes or their portrayals on TV. Yeah. The difference with people like Savannah Guthrie and others is they look into the camera. And you get these people that maybe suffer from a condition known as erotomania. And it's in the diagnostic statistical manual that psychologists use for all the different categories. It's basically like a stalker's disease. And it can be men or women, and they're hung up on usually people in power, celebrities, and they think there's a mutual love back and forth. And that's why I'm hoping early on the investigators went into every email Savannah has ever received.
So yeah, there was a plan for a search tomorrow. I'm looking at a flyer that someone made. They were going to focus on like Orange Grove Road and Campbell Road, and I'm wondering if that's. I don't understand. If someone is missing, wouldn't you want people to help do like a search party and stuff? I don't understand. Just as long as they're not impeding an investigation. Usually when people are missing and stuff, don't they usually have private companies come in and search. I don't understand that. Like, what is the sheriff's deal? Yeah, don't go on people's property and stuff like that. But now he wants people to have a permit. I don't get that. It's crazy. Yes, Nancy bought that house in 1975 with her husband. Yeah, I agree, Jen. It's very odd. Shannon, thank you so much for your super sticker, my dear. You are amazing. And I always appreciate you being here. Thank you so much. Thank you for being a super mod, too. Thank you. She's so cute. We're super mods. Super mod. Yeah, and we got Sheriff Thanos, right? He's something else. He really needs to step aside and let the FBI do their stuff.
Probably going back 5 years.
It's crazy.
Some fan who just, repeats himself, but somehow it just was never fulfilled.
Yeah.
Maybe she sent the 8x10 glossy or whatever the equivalent is today, but that just wasn't enough for him. So I am not locking into this theory. And like I always say about these types of characteristics, I'll remind your audience, not every single one will be 100% right on the money. No profile is 100% perfect. But if the majority of these characteristics are met, and again, looking at the video, some kind of a Tucson connection over the years, current, in the past, consider calling the tip line. So the whole thing with Savannah just can't be ruled out. She is and like I said on the first interview I did, I think, the day after the kidnapping, victimology is what's very important about any type of.
Here, I'm going to show you this real quick. Just give me a second. Oops, where did it go? Where am I at? There we go. So this is, I just want to show you this real quick. So this was a TMZ article, and also just shows, I'm going to read it to you guys. It shows at 9:48 p.m., Nancy's son-in-law, Tommaso, dropped her back off at her home. Tommaso is Annie's husband. Annie Guthrie, her daughter, reportedly waited 2 minutes for Nancy to get safely inside and then drove away. Right there, the TMZ. Wow, what the heck, you guys? What the heck? So, why did it, that's why I kept wondering, who has an alarm on their garage, a timer or whatever, but I don't know, I don't have one on mine, right? I just press a button in mine. I don't even have a thing to open mine from my car, but I don't use my garage that much either, so it's on the other side of the house. So yeah, so it was Tommaso that gave the 2 minutes for Nancy to get inside. Guys, it takes me longer than 2 minutes to get inside my freaking house, and I don't use a cane, right? I don't understand that. Maybe he's just given a guesstimation, right? A guesstimation of how long it took her to get out of the car. But yeah, 2 minutes. It said it came from Tommaso, not like a alarm or whatever, not a timer or whatever it's called. But yeah, that's what it is. And Sheriff Nanos confirmed Nancy was in bed when she was abducted. Imagine that. Imagine laying in bed as an just laying in bed as yourself, right? And someone gets in your freaking home, hurts you, and takes you. That's freaking nuts to me. Who in their right mind would do this? Some stranger? What the freaking heck? Some stranger's is gonna come and just take you in the middle of the night? Let's be logical here, right? It's somebody that has vengeance, somebody that believes they are deserved something, in my opinion. Yeah, Danny, I know. If there's an app on her phone, it would log. Yeah. I know it takes me more than 2 minutes too. It's freaking, I know, it's crazy. All right, here, let me stop talking. I'm just going to play just this right here, and then I want to go to live coverage for a minute, if you guys don't mind. I talk fast, so I go through everything really quickly.
Violent crime committed against a person. And that's a behavioral term for, it's one thing knowing everything about the killer, the kidnapper, the rapist, whatever, but we want to know about the victim. High-risk victim, low-risk victim, all those things. And as it turns out, it's not just, in this case, Nancy Guthrie herself. It would be her extended family. And I'm not talking about them being involved in this crime. Others are looking into that. It may or may not be. The sheriff has since ruled them out. We'll leave that where it is. But certainly the connections to those people. And Savannah being the celebrity, the high profile person, certainly worth a lot of money. If there is a financial aspect to this, she has to be considered in terms of who are the people that have been reaching out to her over multiple years. And I'm sure every one of those persons, their criminal records, and maybe even some of them have been interviewed, or at least try to locate them, has been done by the investigators now working the case.
Yeah, just before we move on, it's interesting. I hadn't thought about that, them going through all of her emails. That would make sense, because she probably has a lot from fans and maybe even creepy people. But I thought of something else when you were just saying that. You know, in her last video that she did, she seemed like she was almost trying to like give the kidnapper sympathy, like almost she was like trying, you know, almost like we, you know, feel for you, you can still turn this around, almost like she was talking to someone who was obsessed with her, like trying to appeal to that person. That was kind of the sense I got when I first watched it, which seems to sort of go back to your theory here. And maybe the FBI told her to do that.
Yeah, and there's no doubt the FBI, the behavioralists are involved in not putting words in her mouth or on paper for her, but certainly guiding them and advising what to say and maybe what to stay away from. So yeah, there was definitely a shift in her tone and even her agency, so to speak, but to whom she was speaking over the course of the several videos she put out there. And I think you're right there. And of course, as I pointed out, and I guess others did too, but it's certainly the first video, they wanted to humanize her. That's very important in these types of abduction situations. You know, call her by her name, you know, mom, mommy. I think only Nancy only once, mom, mommy, you know, versions of that. So that was very important they did. So they're trying to appeal to different levels and layers of whoever may be holding her, that, you know, she is a real person, a human, she's kind, she's nice. I'm still baffled, and I find it very interesting. I wish I was the one to come up with this, but the fact that Savannah quoted lines from the movie Silence of the Lambs. I found that very, very interesting. I'm not going to put a whole lot of interpretation in that. Maybe subconscious, maybe not. You'd think someone would have picked up on that. I know in the Ramsey, John Benet Ramsey murder, it never was a kidnapping, but for the first 6 hours or so, with the letter that was received, it was treated as such. In that letter, there were direct references to the movie Dirty Harry and the movie Speed, and I'm one of the first persons to pick up on that. And that was early in the internet days. And even the movie Usual Suspects was kind of intimated throughout. So it's not unusual for killers, or we'll say alleged kidnappers, to borrow from the media, sort of life imitating art. But it's unusual when in this case, family members are borrowing from art, so to speak. Not bad or not good. I'm not even saying that, but they chose those words. I would think not coincidentally in the long run.
Yeah, I just felt like maybe she was trying to appeal to someone who may be obsessed with her. You know, which goes back to your theory of, you know, it could be like a crazy fan.
It's freaking weird.
Yeah, and look, a lot of your listeners may be young and they may barely remember President Reagan, or even the assassination attempt on him in 1981
from Jodie.
That was by a guy named John Hinckley, who was obsessed with the young actress Jodie Foster.
Yeah.
And this is before actors and actresses would be putting their political
weird
stuff out there. And I don't think anyone even knew her politics back then, and maybe even now, I don't know. But stalkers, people suffering from erotomania, will do really strange things. Sometimes they do hurt their actual victims. The actress, I forget her name, but she was in the show, in a mid-'80s show, and she was murdered by her stalker. So the bottom line is these things do happen. And as a part of me hoping that maybe this is an obsessed fan and he never could get to Savannah and he thinks he has some sort of a connection to her. So he just wants to keep her mother in a room somewhere and have these ongoing discussions.
I don't think
with
so.
her about Savannah when she was young. And is there any chance she would like me? I know this is way out there in terms of a theory, but I look at the Elizabeth Smart kidnapping in Utah back in the early 2000s. Again, that was sex oriented, not related to this type of an abduction, but that person just wanted to keep that young woman in his possession, more or less, and keep her alive to fulfill the ongoing fantasy he had about her. And he was doing very bad things to her. I'm not suggesting if that's the case here, it's happening to Mrs. Guthrie, but there are people out there whose brain synapses don't connect like ours do, and your audience, and something like this, so they can't get Savannah. Maybe this is the closest they can get.
But
so
why now?
I'm hoping for this sort of possibility, which would mean then maybe Mrs. Guthrie is still alive, but we just don't know, of course.
I agree,
So
Rob.
let's move on now. So we were talking.
Why now, guys? Can someone tell me why? Seriously. Nancy's been living in that house since 1975. What do you guys think? Why now? Why take her now, though, right? You're welcome, hon. It just doesn't make no sense. Yeah, 50 plus years. Like, I think it's like 51 or some years, right? In that house. So why take her now? How long has Savannah been working at NBC? Right? And she's been divorced from her ex-husband for a while. But I mean, that, I'm not expecting, I mean, when we followed the case out of Ohio, they were divorced for what, 10 years? And he found her, but that was a little bit, that's like an obsessive thing. This, I don't think, is an obsessive, because if somebody is obsessive with you, I don't think they're going to take your mom. They're going to take you, right? They're going to get to you. They're not going to take your mom. I don't understand that. And why now? What has changed within the past month or so that would make someone take Nancy? Has her finances changed? Has she made a change in the will? Has she gotten in any kind of confrontations with anybody in the family or friends or in the community? Has she met anybody new? Somebody that she's been hanging around with more so than before? Somebody that's been attached to her for that's a newer person, you know what I mean? Met an acquaintance that's now hanging around more. Why now is the question. That's the biggest question. Someone I heard earlier said they could have watched her coming home in the video in November. Took this long. Yeah. So Savannah actually came back 3 months prior. There was a whole little documentary on it, and it showed her, Annie, and Nancy, their mom, going out to their favorite restaurant, El Churro, right? And that's one of the locations that they like to go to. I'm actually trying to get some information. Stacy, I was actually trying to get some information from anybody that works there to see if Nancy may have come in with somebody recently, somebody new, or maybe somebody had went into the restaurant, watched that documentary that Savannah made a few months ago. Somebody came into the restaurant asking about Savannah or asking about Nancy or Annie, one of them or the whole family. I think it would be good to talk to, if they're always at that restaurant, I would be talking to people that host the game that she likes, the community centers and stuff. See if anybody's been going there. she was to meet her attorney the week after being taken. Is that true, Charlene? Has there been any evidence of someone obsessed? Chris, I haven't seen any. Thank you, Leslie. Oh, yeah. I did see that, Linda. I just don't understand it. Even our drinks, yeah. Oops. I'm going to play the rest of this little interview right here, and then we're going to go to the live coverage.
About what this person may have been acting like before the, I guess, abduction, we'll call it. Tell me now, what should people be looking for in the after?
Sure. And Ray and I, my, again, Cold Red co-host Ray Carr and I broke this post-offense behavior into two parts. And one of it's pre-video release. So again, after the abduction, but like that first week before the video came out, and then after the video. So this is the post-offense behavior after the abduction, but before the video came out. And it's basically just a few bullet points here, but altered behavioral activity, especially the weekend of January 30th through February 1st. After that, this person's schedule is modified. He's more often in one place or less often in one place. Missing work, missing family functions, odd late night hours, out of town or claims to be for unclear reasons, and perhaps driving a rental car, but for no apparent reason. Obviously, observable mental strain, sleep disruption, potential for increased substance use, alcohol or drugs, over-explaining whereabouts or created unsolicited alibis, hypervigilance toward police presence, cleaning vehicle interior or interiors repeatedly, disposing of bags, gloves, or clothing, deep cleaning of residence garage, burning or discarding digital devices, storage media. So again, all the serial offenders we talked to over the years, at least some of these categories are what they engage after they commit a crime, especially one that goes high profile and is and there's a lot of media coverage. Let me just swing right into the post-offense behavior after the video was released. So take into account everything I've already mentioned, but now I don't think he suspected this, whether he had inside information somehow, some way that the Nest camera did not have a subscription. This may have thrown off, his thought process a bit. So now the video comes out, pretty clear of what he's wearing anyway, and he becomes even more frenetic, nervous, unstable, highly irritable, moving around.
Okay, say this, that this person knew that she didn't have a subscription, right? But they do know that the doorbell camera would actually notify her, like, how it says person detected or motion detected. So that's why they went and got the plant life, because if you put a plant over the camera is just going to say motion detected or whatever. It's not going to show a person. So maybe that's what I mentioned earlier. Maybe they knew that there was no subscription. That's why they put the plant over there. But why not just remove the freaking camera? Why not just remove the device all the way at first, unless you couldn't get it off unless it would make too much noise or something at first to get it off. I don't know. I've always wondered that as well. Yeah, I've never heard that, Charlene. Trying to get her to move into a facility. I've never heard that. Yes, and the electrical workers. Yes. Oh gosh, what was his name? They came out a couple times and redid the box with the grounding rods.
Physically, and even much more so than the past week. Possibly changes appearance, cuts hair, mustache, grows facial hair, and following the media even more obsessively. Frequent searches online of case updates or suspect descriptions, no doubt following the media, no doubt, Brian, listening to you both on television and digitally and on your pod as we talking right here, monitoring all different Facebook and social media groups, possibly calling tip lines with false or misleading information and posting speculative theories online, and possibly discussing the case excessively to gauge reactions of other people. You know, so again, some of these may be right on the money. Some of it, once or twice he did this. One or two may not be applicable at all. But as I'm telling you, with everything I just sort of mentioned here, if you know someone out there in any category of your life that fits at least, you know, 3/4, you know, the majority of these types of indicators, you know, call the FBI tip line. If nothing else, you're going to get, and it's right, you're going to get $200,000. And if it's wrong, that's okay. The FBI is used to getting well-intentioned tips along the way. When I got the Unabomb in the summer of '95, they had 2,500 suspects.
Wow.
And within 6 months or so, 7 months,
They've got
they're now the one named Ted Kaczynski. But we had to rule out a lot of those other 2,500 that people were calling in. So call it in if these characteristics even resemble a little bit someone you may know. Now, I'll end this part, Brian, and we can go into some more Q&A, but people talk about the lone wolf offender. And I really think in terms of violent criminals out there, Ted Kaczynski / the Unabomber was really the last lone wolf criminal, because nowadays everybody is online, you know, some much more than others. So even if you're a loner kind of living on your own and you're isolated from people, you're not that lone wolf because you're engaging and interacting with others online, maybe even the dark web, and getting reinforced or learning.
All right. Yeah, I wanted to play that interview. Give me 1 second. I have the article of when Nancy, hold on 1 second. Give me 1 second. I'm going to show it. And then we're going to go to live view. Thank you all for being here. There is there's an Amber Alert out for a young girl. I just noticed. I posted it on my Facebook page. If you guys aren't a part of my Facebook page, I'm going to drop it in the chat for you guys. But she's not in Tucson, though. She's in a different part of Arizona. Here, guys, if you aren't a part of the Facebook group, go and join our Facebook group. You haven't seen a pic of the electrician? I'm pretty sure that I have one. I'll pull it up if you give me a second. Oh, thank you, Ann Elizabeth. We love you too. All right, guys, I'm going to show you this. This is the article. I couldn't find the video. It's swamped somewhere. I know I have it probably in my email or somewhere, but this is the article of it. So it just says Savannah Guthrie's mom appeared on Today 2 months before she was reported missing. So Nancy appeared on the Today Show, but 3 months prior to her disappearance, Savannah went home to visit her mother. And this says Savannah Guthrie's mother, Nancy Guthrie, made a rare appearance on the Today Show just 2 months before she went missing. And a month prior is when Savannah visited her hometown. And it just talks about this right here. During her November 2025 daytime TV cameo, Nancy, 84, shared what made the city of Tucson, Arizona, so meaningful to her. In the segment, Savannah, 54, returned to her beloved hometown to catch up with her mom and sister Annie. She said, "It's so wonderful." Nancy told Savannah about why she put down roots in Tucson. Just the air. The quality of life is laid back and gentle. I like to watch the javelina eat my plants. Is that spelt wrong? Isn't it a J? It starts with a J. I don't know. Savannah echoed those sentiments during their shared TV when they got together. And it says, by far, my favorite part about Tucson is my family, Savannah said, before spotlighting a local place she enjoyed dining during her visits. El Charro is the oldest family-owned Mexican restaurant in America. A place to catch up with mine, she continued. I come here every time I come home to Tucson. So it says, and then it just talks about Nancy was reported missing on Sunday, February 1st, after she was last seen on January 31st. And then it talks about Nanos when he did a press conference that the authorities are still searching for her. But you have to have a permit if you are just a someone wanting to search, a civilian, excuse me. It goes on to say that Nanos revealed that a friend of Nancy's church noticed she did not attend the service. So right there in the beginning, we were told Nancy actually went to church, but no, she actually went to a neighbor's to watch a church service in Manhattan that her daughter, Savannah, physically went to. So, and it says Nancy shares daughters Savannah and Annie, as well as son Cameron, with late husband Charles, who died from a heart attack at age 49. That's young. Nano said the friend paid a visit to Nancy's home and did some searching before realizing help was needed and calling 911. Oh, I did not know that. So Nano said that her friend, her neighbor, did some searching before help was needed and called 911. What? Do you guys find that weird? So her friend, because Nancy didn't show up, it says her friend did searching before calling help and then 911. Huh. Did you guys know that? Mm-hmm. Oh, wow, Liza. I didn't know. Oh, yeah, interesting, right? You never heard that part? I didn't either. So, wow. So her friend did some searching. Maybe just, did she go in the house or walk around the house and find a blood at first? I thought that Tommaso and them called 911. See, this is also freaking confusing. Why is they all say different things? I'm going to read it again. Nanos said, the sheriff said the friend who Nancy, which is the neighbor, Nancy went to her home to watch the Manhattan church services that her daughter Savannah physically goes to on Sunday, right? But Nancy watches it online at her friend's house. She said the friend paid a visit to Nancy's home, probably to see why she's not answering the phone, why she didn't show up to her house. So her friend went over there to her house, and it says, and did some searching before realizing help was needed and calling 911. But we were told Tommaso and Annie called 911. So if the friend went to her house and you did some searching there, wouldn't the friend have discovered the blood? Wouldn't you think? It says Nanos called the situation very concerning while sharing the update stating the authorities are not willing to rule out foul play. So the last person to see Nancy alive was Tommaso. The person that was supposed to see her next is the friend. So you have Tommaso and then the friend, right? Which I think her name is, oh my gosh, Anne, I think her name's Anne. So the lady called Annie, and Annie and Tommaso called 911. Thank you, Cindy. Yes. So, but the thing is, if the lady did searching, wouldn't the lady had called 911 because she would have seen blood on the doorstep? Like, wouldn't she had went to her front door? Yeah, and DNA would have been present. Yeah, wouldn't she had went to the front door and ring the doorbell or knocked? Like, you're not going to someone's garage door and knocking, right? Thank you, Ruby. Yeah, that's how I thought it was spelled, Javelina. Am I crazy? Or is it here? I'll post this link in the chat if you guys want to go read it yourself. Give me a second. Where are we at? This is AOL. Here we go. That's an old article on Today's Show. There's the link right there if you guys want to go check it out. So it goes on to say a nearby resident named Morgan Brown. I didn't even freaking know about this, you guys. This is all new to me. A nearby resident named Morgan Brown, who lives a quarter mile up the street from Nancy's residence, told us that those living in the neighborhood are being told to look at our Ring cameras to see if anything popped up. So I never heard of this person. No, I heard about the Ring camera stuff. Brown said they were informed authorities are narrowing it down to sometime between 1 a.m. and 4 a.m. local time on Sunday morning that Nancy went missing. Brown told us that both vans and helicopters were seen around Nancy's address on Sunday afternoon. This is the foothills of Tucson, Nancy's neighbor further explained. If you step 2 feet off the road, you are basically in the thick of the cactus. It's not gated at all. Amid the ongoing search, Savannah was absent from the Monday broadcast on the Today Show because she was in Arizona, obviously. And it's just a statement from the family that on behalf of our family, I want to thank everybody for the thoughts and prayers and messages of support. Right now, our focus remains on the safe return of our dear mom. A statement shared on behalf of Savannah and her family. But I've never heard this part right here. Wait, that's not it. Hold on. Where is it at? Where it said she searched. That's freaking crazy. Right here. Got I need new glasses. Nano said the friend paid a visit to Nancy's home and did some searching. What kind of searching did she do, you guys? I don't know. Like, I think that's freaking weird. But yet, she most likely saw the blood on the doorstep, but decided to call Annie and Tommaso first and not call 911. If I'm going to check on my friend or my neighbor and I see blood on their doorstep, I'm calling 911, you guys. I'm not calling family first. I'm calling 911 and then I'll call the family. So she just waited for her family. I think it took them, 7 minutes or something? I don't know. It wasn't that long. Yeah, I don't know, Robin. This is really freaking strange. I don't know, Texas. She had to have, right? Did she touch anything? Did she leave the back door open? And we've seen how many stinking people have been on that property. We've seen how many people have been on that property. They still have not freaking taped it off. It's nuts. Oh, goodness gracious. It's just nuts. So I'm glad I'm going to keep this article because that is really interesting. All right. Now I want to go over to, I put that link in the chat for you guys if you wanted to visit it, right? I think that's interesting. Yeah, yeah. All right. Let's go check out and see what, hold on. Oh, cool. I can add more stuff now, you guys. That's cool. Okay. Oh, that's so freaking cool. Okay. StreamYard just added a new feature, I guess. That's neat. Okay, let's see what JLR is doing.
Yeah, 12 years ago.
We were going to go to the O.J. Simpson verdict,
You guys were going to go to O.J. Simpson?
but we were
Alright.
too scared it was going to be
Couldn't get in,
dangerous.
Is that live?
Plus you couldn't get in,
So, yeah.
but hanging outside.
we
Oh, shoot. Stop. Oh, I gotta hit the live button. That's what it is. So look at the road now.
I think so.
See how they have the road blocked off now?
Yeah, but I think that was more centered about searching on private property.
Yeah, I know, Jen. It's freaking crazy.
I don't think anyone is prohibited of
Mhm.
walking down the road in a group of people.
Let me see if I can
searching
find the press for you
public
guys.
Land or sides of roads on easements. I don't think
I
that's
believe that.
you don't need a permit for that. But who
First,
knows?
I want to send this to myself, the article that we were just reading, because that's crazy. Oh, here, let me put JLR's
Their
name up
searches
here.
in
Hold on.
Mexico.
I don't like to not have a thingy up here. Do I have his? I should, right? Where is it at? Oh, Jesus. So much stuff up here. I swear I had that. Okay. There we go. There we go. Got the right person up there now. All right. I'm going to look for the presser, you guys, real quick. I want to see if I can find it in article form because I think it'll be easier to, that's craziness. You know what? It might actually be on. Let's see something real quick. Yeah, the Uber. Well, the Uber, he should have had a video of Nancy. You know what I mean? Like the last video evidence of her. Unless they could pull off the Ring doorbell camera when she went home.
Doesn't seem like Pima County wants.
Oh, I'm a dork. Try to.
It's not, I don't, well, the county, I don't think it's the citizens. That's what they want.
Wow. They have really blocked off the road right there. Oh my gosh, can you work today, please? All right, that doesn't want to work.
JLR investigates as we make the commitment while we're here to be out here from sunrise to sunset.
Wow.
We have about another hour to sunset, and we'll continue to see if anything pops off or anyone stops by or any type of.
There we go. Well, there's hardly any freaking room for them at all.
Media kind of like wrapping it up over here.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of just got the barriers and.
That's crazy. Give me a second. I'm going to look up
little red cones and
real quick. Where's that? It was the first conference. I'm looking for the first conference of it. Probably KOLD.
I don't have one at this point. I'm open-minded to anything.
Do you think she's here or in Mexico?
I don't believe she's in Mexico, but it's possible. But I don't believe it.
Oops. I'm gonna look on my phone real quick.
I'm open-minded to it being a cartel gang member or criminal network that done this for a particular objective. And
Jen,
purpose.
you're so funny. I'm trying to look for the Pima County Sheriff's Office first.
Money, fame, the person.
I mean,
that was 5 days
If you're
ago.
gonna do this for ransom and money, if you're gonna go that route, you gotta know the person has money or family lineage that has money.
but this had to have been planned out. It wasn't a, hey, let's get her tonight. This was,
Oh, there's definitely preparation with this.
they knew.
I mean, even with Moscow, Idaho, when he going there, it appears that he was pings around that area, stalking the house out and everything like that. There's preparation, buying the supplies you're going to use to do the crime. Sometimes over a course of time, sometimes within the first couple days before the crime is committed, you're going to Walmart, Lowe's, hardware store to get something centered around what you're going to use for the crime, right? Searches, internet searches, about your target.
What if he already had the stuff? What if he didn't buy the stuff new? What if he already had all that stuff? You know what I mean?
Like just standing there, like, you can't walk on that driveway and not.
All right, I'm looking.
Right, and now you're walking that whole part up. And as I was standing there, you see.
Looking to see if
how did this? And you just said how pitch dark it is here tonight. So how did this guy know that he wasn't gonna do walking, already making
What is
noise,
this?
and then trip over one of those branches, and they're not small; they're legit branches.
Yeah.
So
That's
there
odd.
was, but he knew that whoever it was knew this area, knew that walkway.
Okay,
And
I don't want
there's
that.
a lot of rocks up there.
Yep.
And knew that if they misstepped on one of those rocks, there wasn't going to be a rock avalanche either. There was going to be no noise. And to me, that makes it more personal.
All right.
Somebody knew this property very well. And this isn't a property that's set back like I see these other ones. Somebody could have just been walking by and seen somebody walking up. They knew what time, how to get, like, how to avoid being detected. Knew that there was no subscriptions being paid.
This is the first one. Let's see. Okay, I found the
Why no
first press
vehicle?
conference.
I'll say this every single day. Why no vehicle?
Or we
Hi, Nana. Good to see you, honey.
I think they have a legal
I
obligation
do.
to share about the vehicle.
remember the type of case not too long ago.
All right, let's see. This was 2 weeks ago, February 5th. Was that his first press conference?
The ex-husband's vehicle until a week later, and he parked it 2 blocks away, I think.
Mhm.
That wasn't that far, you know. And that was a very, it was like a city
Yeah,
kind
it
of
has
area.
to
Oh,
be.
yeah, it was. It was like a suburb. It was a college town. I had the whole video of the whole area. Every single house had a camera. Like maybe 1 or 2 didn't.
Thank you, Pat Brooks. Our chat is lit. And the power of prayer. Got a
All right.
comment earlier. The power of prayer.
Yeah, it's showing first press conference was February 3rd.
I think
Melissa Wildchild.
they did see it.
Is that right?
Maybe they
Wild
just
card,
wanna
thank
tell
you.
us because they know what the public is doing with this information.
Let me make sure. Hold on.
And do
All
you
right,
also
this is
remember the mention
KGUN.
of
Hold on
Wednesday?
a second.
Line.
Yes.
Give me a second. I'm going to make sure that I got it right.
And then they
Mm-hmm.
would never mention that again.
Misty Haynes. 8885.
Okay, 2 weeks
Thank you so
ago.
much, Misty Haynes. As always. As always.
Okay.
Says, let's get things rolling. Obviously, we will have no updates as long as the sheriff
That's crazy.
long as this sheriff has anything to do with it. Protest outside the station? Question mark. Put the pressure.
There's a news article that says sheriff calls for community help to find Nancy Guthrie. That was 2 weeks ago. I'm gonna play this, you guys. Press conference, right? I'm gonna play this.
Pressure on him
I'm gonna put
because
it over.
he is the reason this case has not and is not going anywhere.
This one.
He doesn't want to. So let's make him
I
speak
thought it was the first day. This is February 2nd.
with her advocacy, compassion.
He didn't do it on the first day, did
I
he?
do think, though, that citizens over time might take matters in their own hands in reference to doing searches
Mhm.
and, trying to find answers, because this is just the longer it drags out without
Let me
any
pull this up.
clarity from authorities and silence from the authorities, they're going to feel like they have to
Okay, Miss Hope.
do their best
Oh,
and try
I'm
to
hungry.
do something to find Nancy.
I agree.
But a lot of people feel the same way about the sheriff. They, with the handling this case, he does have supporters. I've seen supporters online. A lot of people in this chat don't support him. I see more that don't than do in this particular case because of what they witnessed this case. Our chat is not dumb. Our chat has been paying attention to this case. Every theory is a theory, right? We don't say like really crazy theories, whether we express them all, but we've listened to these press conferences. We've seen a lot of you cover true crime. A lot of you watch true crime. A lot of you have listened to law enforcement handling other true crime cases.
Texas.
A lot of you in the chat. Our chat.
Thank
not new to
you.
this. Most of the viewers have seen other
Thank you.
cases.
Yep,
seen
I
how
found
law
it.
enforcement handled other
All right.
cases, and people are very.
All right, let's play this press conference and see if he mentions anything like we just read about the neighbor searching. And this is February 2nd. Sorry, my computer freezes up a little bit because it's very old. Okay, let's see. I still got to get my gaming computer so I can get with the program. All right, here we go. Let's play this. And this is the local news there. Let's see if it mentions anything at all about the neighbor searching. I'm going to put on closed captions because you know how he talks. Remove myself so you can see the screen. Can you guys still hear me?
I'm going through some talking points to the family. I want to make sure I cover them. I'm not somebody who does well with the script. My local media knows that.
We can tell.
We get started. I believe it was around noon yesterday. We got a call to the Guthrie residence that Nancy Guthrie, 84 years old, was missing. We expended a lot of resources for a missing person that we typically always do. Our search and rescue volunteers, our search and rescue teams, other agencies, Borstar from Border Patrol sent their canines out. They worked tirelessly all day yesterday and all day tonight. I'm sorry, all day yesterday and all last night. To no avail. As I said yesterday, we saw some things at the home that were concerning to us. We believe now, after we've processed that crime scene, that we do in fact have a crime scene, that we do in fact have a crime, and we're asking the community's help. This community has always stepped up to help us solve some pretty tough crimes. I'm looking for that again. This is a 84-year-old lady who suffers from some physical ailments, has some physical challenges, is in need of medication that if she doesn't have in 24 hours, it could be fatal. So we make a plea to anyone who knows anything about this, who has seen something, heard something, to contact us. Call 911. We don't need another bad tragic ending. We need some help. Our team is the best. I couldn't speak any higher. I think you know that. We have done some great work with our partners in the Valley. You know, this community, I have to give a lot of thanks to our law enforcement agencies all across this Valley, whether it's the Tucson Police Department or some of the smaller agencies. They've all reached out. They've all offered to assist. The FBI, all of them. We work so close with them, and they are all plugged in. We'll continue to work closely with them. But what I really need is I need this community to step up and start giving us some calls. Let us know if you've seen something. We are right now at a time, and I apologize, everybody tells me I talk too softly. We are at a time where in this investigation, we're now moving forward where we need to depend on technology. You know, our license plate readers, our camera systems throughout the community, anything, everything. And we will download all that data we have from the home, from different pieces of technology we've gotten, and we will use that to our advantage. But the reason I bring this up is that, you know, I'm a cop, I hate politics, but I have to remind our political leaders that they need to quit this banter of every time law enforcement leaders come to you for a need, that you give up these these ridiculous
Mhm.
remarks about how it's going to be misused. AI is a bad, evil word. The cameras are very bad and evil. I'm tired of that. Those tools in the right hands with the right minds and the right approaches are extremely valuable to
Yes.
solving crimes just
Listen,
like
you're right.
this. We need that. We need more staffing. We need a lot of things. But what I really need is I need the community's help with this. So I want to make sure before I take any questions, it is a crime scene. We know that. She needs her daily medication.
Wow.
And anybody that sees anything that even looks, hey, maybe that's her, just take a quick picture. Take a video, send it to us. The number is real easy here locally. It's 911. You can contact our 88 crime and remain anonymous. You can call me, anybody. I am here to take any questions you may have. It will be a little limited. I apologize for that, but we do have a crime that we need to protect its integrity. I have here Sergeant David Stivers from our homicide team. He has been up all night, so bear with us if we are a little bit fuzzy in our answers or responses, but we're both here for any questions you may have. Let's start,
Chair,
please.
recognizing your limitations, but can, as opposed to someone who left home and just couldn't find their way back?
Well, I think I told you she is very limited in her mobility, right? We know she didn't just walk out of there. That we know. There are other things at the scene that indicate she did not leave on her own. We know that.
If you're not at plate readers, is there a vehicle associated with this?
When I told you we're now at this phase where we're looking at all the technology, all of that is being evaluated as we speak. Let me say this: we've not just thrown our search and rescue team out there. They are going to be doing some door-to-door with our criminal investigation team. It is not just our homicide unit. All of our criminal investigation detectives. I went out last night to the scene. There were probably 100 cars out there, all from the sheriff's department, all working this case. It takes a lot of manpower and a lot of energy. This team of mine worked throughout the night. They continue to work. David's had zero sleep, but he and his team are working as hard as they can.
Is there anybody else associated with her, a caregiver, family member, acquaintance, who is also missing and somebody you're
No. The family, all of the family has been very cooperative with us. They're working with us. They're staying in touch with us. They have complete access to anybody on this department. Savannah has been in touch with us as well.
This is before Savannah.
Our hearts go out to them. This is their mom. She's just a great lady from what I've heard, and I feel for the family. We just want to find her and bring her back safe.
Sheriff, you mentioned that she didn't just walk out, but is there any additional information that you can give us on what may have alluded to this being a crime scene?
I wish I could. I really do. I know that everybody wants to know certain things, but I can't do that it would be inappropriate at this time.
Are there any signs of breaking and entering or any forced entry, anything like that?
I again don't want to get into that. David, can you see anything here?
At this time, it's still a very active investigation. There were circumstances on scene that we believe are suspicious in nature, I think is the best way to put it. But we can't really get into a whole lot of details with that.
Do you believe that this was targeted, or they just happened to hit Savannah Guthrie's mom, or if this was just random?
We don't know that. We don't. We look at all of that, but we just don't know that.
Do they have cameras at the home?
They do, and we're looking through some of that.
With this being an active crime scene, is there any threat to the general public?
I'm trying to figure out my phone.
Well,
no, I don't think there's an active threat, but I hate to say that because you know, we're going to canvass that neighborhood, and maybe there's a prowler been seen around. There's a lot of work still to do. We don't have any indication that that the public is in danger.
And what does that search look like today beyond what you've already told us about last night?
So we have shut down our search and rescue mission, and we've sent them home to rest. They were out all night. Look, we put all our air assets into this. Our drone systems, our aircraft, our helicopters, heat sensors, infrared, everything we've had, we've thrown at this.
Mm-hmm.
They're going to step aside. We'll call them out again if we need to.
Good night, Robin.
But right now, we don't see this as a search mission as much as we do a crime scene.
Sheriff, can you tell us a little bit about that map?
You didn't say anything about
that. Is, and David probably can better answer it than I, but that is our search patterns, I believe. Is that correct?
Yes.
Yeah.
So with all the assets that we deployed yesterday with the search and rescue teams, the map that's on the screen is basically tracks that were followed. Those are all, the colored lines are all ground tracks of different teams and different assets that were used on the ground, to include the canines, the volunteers, and our own search and rescue team. The circles are going to be representative, if not necessarily perfect, of our air circulation with both our helicopter and our fixed wing aircraft at night, working with the night time cameras. So difficult to see where the house is. The house is basically pretty close to center in that, and then all of the searching that went on throughout the day.
Wow.
With those folks out there on the ground.
What this really helps with is our search teams, when they come back and reassess, maybe they've missed an area, we can look at it and say, hey, you know what, this area could use a little more coverage, and so they concentrate again. Our search and rescue team is top notch. They're out every single day. If it's not a lost person, it's a hiker, it's somebody who's wandered away from a care home.
Say what happened.
I want to stress to you, right, and it is really important. Miss Guthrie, Nancy Guthrie, is of great sound mind. This is not a dementia related. She is as sharp as a tack. The family wants everybody to know this isn't somebody who just wandered off. Her physical limits are based on just age, and we get old, and so it's more physical. But clearly, she is as sharp as a tack.
Do you have her cell phone, and does that present any tracking potential?
We're looking at that as we speak.
But do you have it, or do you not?
We do have it.
So they have her cell phone. We have that. Okay.
Because you said she didn't leave on her own. She was last seen at 9:45. She wasn't reported missing until noon. But
I believe what happened there was at 9:45 in the evening, her children left her off. At some time earlier that morning, they got a call from somebody at the church who said, hey, your mom's not here.
Okay.
The family went to the house.
See,
I'm thinking they spent some time looking for her themselves before they called us. So I'm guessing.
It said that the friend went to Nancy's house. In that article, the friend went to Nancy's house and searched before calling help and 911, having the family call 911. Isn't that what we just read? So why is he saying differently? I'm so freaking confused right now. Yeah, I agree, Stacy. Yeah, you're welcome, Shannon. Yeah, it's crazy. It makes no sense.
Maybe they got there around 11.
Look.
They're off. At some time earlier that morning, they got a call from somebody at the church who said, hey, your mom's not here.
Your mom's not here, so we know they were there.
Went to the house. I'm thinking they spent some time looking for her themselves before they called us. So I'm guessing maybe they got there around 11. So they did some searching and realized we need some help, and they called 911.
Do you have any idea what time?
Wouldn't they have seen the blood right there on the porch and called 911 right away? I don't understand that. Wouldn't they have seen the blood The friend. He said the friend. What? Look. Watch. Sometime earlier that morning, they got a call. Watch.
From somebody at the church who
From
said,
somebody at the church.
"Hey, your
said,
mom's
hey,
not here."
your mom's not here.
The family.
Your mom's not here. So that means that the friend went to the house, like the article said. And then
went to the house.
Family went to the house.
Thinking they spent some time looking for her themselves.
And then all of them spent time looking
maybe
for
they
her.
got there around 11. So they did some searching and realized we need some help, and they called 911.
Do you have any idea what
the hell? You would have seen the blood on the porch.
from the home?
There's a lot of things working there, and I
What
just
the
can't
freaking heck, you guys?
Has Savannah Guthrie, has she had any threats to herself at all?
We've spoken to her. We'll continue to work with that. She has a security team that's been in touch with us throughout the night. But we're not going to dismiss any angles for sure. But right now, immediately, we don't know of anything like that.
Is she in town or on the way here?
She's here.
Can you give us any more? What should somebody be looking for? Because when I was out in the neighborhood, the neighbors are obviously incredibly concerned. But is there anything, a tip? I mean, one neighbor stopped me and he didn't know if he should call you or not. So
Oh my goodness.
But so what should somebody be looking for?
Well, first of all, I'd ask them, go through their cameras. Go through their Ring cameras, whatever cameras they may have. Don't dismiss it that, oh, well, we really can't see the house. They still might see something. Maybe it's somebody walking by. Maybe it's a vehicle driving by at that time of day. But go through all your cameras in that neighborhood and tell us if you see something. Maybe somebody already, we know this happens, right? Oh, I saw something suspicious, but I didn't think it was worth calling in, so I didn't call it in. Well, now it's suspicious. Call in anything you've seen or heard. Maybe it's a neighbor telling you, you know, I saw this or I heard that. Call us. Don't tell the neighbor to call us. Tell the neighbor to call us, but you call us as well. We'll put it together. We'll get, trust me, I'm sure we're going to get inundated with a lot of calls. We'll handle that.
Oh.
Did she live alone?
I believe, yes, she did. Yeah.
Were there any caregivers you're normally associated with her?
Well, she has house staff that comes by, takes care of the yard, whatever, in her house and that. But those people we'll be talking with that have talked to some of them already.
But nobody who's like a live-in or anything.
Nobody actually lives with her, no. Like I say, she's of great sound mind, and she is mobile. It's just
She's
it's a
not
challenge
mobile.
for her to get, as the family says.
It's hard for her to walk her driveway.
By herself. So
50 yards. You mean 50 feet?
I'm sorry.
Somebody asked about the FBI.
We, like I said, we work closely with all of our partners, whether they're FBI, ATF, ICE, whoever.
Oh my God. Wrong one. Oops, where am I at? I can't watch. I think a lot of people can't watch it because a lot of people left. So listen, that article said in the beginning, yeah, we all thought that she actually went physically to a church that morning. Then we learned she was supposed to go to her neighbor's house to actually go watch church services, right? A neighbor's house to watch church services. The neighbor already had like grape juice and something and like crackers or something for their communion. The article could be wrong, but it was like what he just said was she wasn't home. Like the neighbor had went to the home. I'm going to do some more research on that, because if the neighbor actually went to the house and like searched around for her, like when the neighbor had called 911, if she spotted blood on the porch. So, oh my God, it's a mess. It's a mess. Yeah. And his hands, the FBI. All right. I'm done watching him. I want to show you guys one more thing. This is the private search that is supposed to be going on. Yeah, I know. And he said 50 yards. She can't walk 50 yards. Like, she can't walk to the end of her freaking driveway. What do you mean 50 yards? All right, you guys. So this here is the new search. I'm gonna blow this up for you guys to watch. There's sound on this.
So the FBI is searching again in Nancy Guthrie's front yard. These are all
This is the FBI search.
FBI agents. They were just searching across the street where the media is set up. That's Nancy's house.
They're searching again.
So this is just next to Nancy's house.
They must think she's close by. What is that in the freaking, what is that, a cane? Or a pipe or something? What is that, a pipe? A well? All right. What the heck? All right. What is this? I'm getting dizzy from watching that. What the heck? So it says Nancy Guthrie reported search party tomorrow at 8 a.m. Sounds like a possible new information to make the decision to conduct a new search. I hope that is the case. If not, it means they're concerned they might have missed something. Did they ever conduct a proper grid search? I believe they had, but I never saw the scope of that search in terms of the area. Can you imagine if she was close by the whole time and they just missed her? Oh, like Travis Decker or Brian Laundrie, yeah. If this is solely a search conducted by private citizens, then according to the sheriff, he will require permits. Yep. Yep. He's requiring permits for private searches, you guys. Okay. Oh, goodness. My eyes are crossed from that. Oh, goodness. Yeah, exactly, you guys. Hi, Peacemaker. Good to see you. So what you guys think? Their boss probably told them to go. Yeah, because right in the beginning, he asked the people in the area that he's going to need their help. So, like, it just baffles me. It really does. It really baffles me. Let's go check out JLR real quick and see if anything else is going on. But there hasn't been, whoops, wrong thing. There hasn't been much. Let's see real quick. I can't listen to that press conference anymore. I remember in the beginning, I could barely even freaking hear him. All right, let me add myself down here. Oh, we missed you too.
You'd be looked upon as a hero, a savior.
Well, they really, look at that. They're trying to move him out.
Mr. Haynes wants to go protest. Like, protest the sheriff.
He's still talking about the sheriff. Wow. That's crazy.
Just find Nancy. Well, this is needle in the haystack territory. I mean, I just looked up on Google. Yes, a reward for finding a missing person is generally taxable in the United States. Here's how it works. Reward money is usually taxable income.
Here, let me put.
If you receive money for providing information or helping locate a missing person, the IRS typically treats it as other income. It is taxable because it is not a gift.
Wow.
It is not a rebate. It is money received in exchange for providing information or services. So the IRS is going to tax you.
All right, so
taxable.
Let me turn that off for a minute. So basically, there's it says update. This is from the Pima County Sheriff's Department. Oh goodness. It says update on the DNA analysis just now within the past 25 minutes. Lab experts are working through that analysis as with any biological evidence. There can be challenges separating DNA, etc. There are currently no updates regarding this process. Are you freaking kidding me? Why did they even say anything if there's no updates? That's just nuts. So, Pima County Sheriff's Office having the lab experts are working on the analysis and they're having challenges. Goodness gracious, you guys. Oh, jeez, this is nuts. And then the locals were going to do a grid search tomorrow, and now they need a permit. Wow. The private search parties, volunteer search groups have inquired about being in the area. Per the sheriff, they were asked to please give investigators the space they need. Wow. What is this? Yeah, let me see. Let me turn the sound on real quick.
Work is appreciated. Well, thank you. Very grateful for you to be here. Keep it cute, boo. Says, I think you should call it a night and get some rest. Tomorrow's a big day for search. No, we stay here from it's getting dark soon, so obviously I am leaving soon. And just, you know, we're leaving soon. I'm leaving soon.
It's a report filed. Okay. Huh.
So many comments coming up through. Yeah, I could go up to the road and hit the sunset here in a second so we can look at the sunset as it comes down. I'll go to the top of the road.
Wow. All right. I want to show you guys.
They didn't do any searches around here like they were canvassing.
Yeah, nothing.
There will be searches tomorrow.
Yeah, private searches.
Or at least a small group of people, maybe a large group.
Yeah, I want to show you something real quick before I let you guys go for the evening. So this is the flyer for the private search tomorrow. And I say that lightly because it seems like they don't want them to search. So this is the flyer for the private search that is supposed to be held tomorrow. Now, do you think everybody is going to get a permit on Saturday and Sunday to go do the search? Yeah, this is what it is. Yeah, they did the sniffer already. I don't know if they're going to do any more. They should get a drone to do it, but you know. But this is a search and rescue event. Nancy Guthrie, volunteers needed, Sunday, February 22nd, 2026. Volunteers will be meeting at 8 a.m. at the Hobby Lobby on Oracle and Orange Grove Road, which that's a hot street. You know what I mean? The Oracle and Orange Grove, that's where they've been focusing. This is not intended to impede on the investigation. If you see anything, do not touch it. Take a photo, ping location, and send it to law enforcement immediately. Suggested items to bring: identification, work gloves, not black or disposable. Water, snacks, flashlight, sunscreen, long sleeve pants, walking stick, maps, compass, GPS, signal, mirror, possible whistle, first aid kit. So that is, wow, you guys, wow. I want to show you something funny really quick if I can find it. Give me a second. There was this is really funny if I can find it. Hold on. It's just a joke to make you laugh. There's something somebody posted and it's freaking hilarious. Where is it at? It was posted the other day. Give me just a second to look for it. Oh goodness, so many posts, so many posts. Hold on one second. I know I can find it. It was of the searching, finding the gloves. I know it's on here somewhere. All right. Oh, look at that. Is that here? Oh no. I thought that was ring camera footage from the neighborhood. Oh my goodness gracious. Oh, so let me show you this too. So this is actually footage from around the neighborhood. Can you guys see that? The video? Okay, this is footage from around the neighborhood of the same location where individuals previously seen walking with a backpack about almost a little bit over 4 miles from Nancy's house, with reflectors on the shoulder area. The police is observed pulling up 10 minutes later and making a U-turn. And this is a person with the backpack. See? There's a lot of freaking creepers at night here, I'm telling you. So there's a person, this is right around where Nancy lives, right? Not even a half a mile away. Someone walking in their driveway. And then it caught the police car right after. 10 minutes later. Checking it out. It's crazy. Like, there's so many freaking creepers. All right, that's not what I wanted to show you, though. Hold on one second. Oh, what is that? One second. I want to try to find this for you because it's freaking hilarious. Oh, check this out. This is the freaking... There's the sheriff's reality show. Sheriff Nanos accused of turning Nancy Guthrie case into a bungling ego trip, and FBI is desperate to take over. There's his have you guys seen that? This Desert Law episodes? Hey Jules, good to see you. Maybe my neighborhood is weird, but we typically don't have cars or people. This neighborhood is crazy. They're all just people all over all the time. I've never seen anything like it in my freaking life. I'm still looking for what I want to show you guys because it's so funny. It has to do with the gloves. Goodness gracious. I guess I should have reposted it so I can find it on here. I hope you didn't delete it because it's so funny. Oh gosh. All right, if I can't find it in a minute, then I'll just have to play it a different day or something. It was somebody running around throwing like 5 million pairs of gloves everywhere. Oh wow. This is interesting. Let's see. This is the same person that does all the crime timeline thing. Oh, this is the family tree. Somebody had looked up the family tree. But I don't know why it says that. That's just, I don't know. Nancy's family tree. All right. Yeah, I know. That's what I'm saying. If I could find the thing with the glove, it is so friggin' hilarious. Ooh, is that it? No, it's not. Okay. You know, the sheriff, when he did his interview for that reality TV show, he was wearing the same shirt he wore in his interview the other day with Brian. Thought it was weird. Oh shoot, I can't see it now. There's the pictures of Oh, this was interesting too with this guy here. Am I frozen? Okay. Let's see. Hold on. This is the.
Help him.
He denied this
Had
too.
given me a list, a paper list of people that had pictures and names on it, and he wanted to know if I could help him pull up in my system if any of these people have purchased a gun in the last year.
And from there, how did you respond?
Exactly.
Based on my comfort level, originally I was a little skeptical, but then, you know, I feel bad for the family of, I forgot the lady's first name, but the Guthrie case. You know, I felt bad for the family, and honestly, anything that could help them find the person, I was willing to help. So I said that I'd be willing to help, and it was about 3 pages. And the way that our system is set up is we type in the last name of the person, and it usually brings up all their information: first name, last name, phone number, address, all of that. And I went through the 3 pages. There was probably 6 or 7 names. There were 6 or 7 people per sheet. And so I just went through each sheet, all 3 sheets, and I typed in the last name, and nothing popped up. And the thing that I just noticed the most was that the last names, we're pretty familiar with our customers. So I could look at the names and be like, okay, yeah, that person might have been in here before. But honestly, last names are really uncommon. So like I was typing in the last names, I was like, I don't recognize this one, I don't recognize that one. And so I just went through the 3 sheets, typed them all in, and none of those people had ever been here.
How many names and photos?
To be honest, I don't remember the exact number of names per sheet, but it was 3 papers, and I want to say that there was probably 6 to 8 people per sheet. They had photographs and they had names, and it was 6 to 8 per sheet.
You had mentioned beforehand.
Is it actually live?
Yeah, so I mean, the FBI agent didn't tell me why he was here, other than just he wanted to know if somebody or any of these people that he had on the papers had purchased a gun from us. But as I was looking at the sheets, because I had watched the video on the news of the kidnapper, you know, sticking bushes in the camera, and it showed his face, and even though he was wearing a ski mask, you could sort of see the outline of his goatee, his mustache, and everything.
Wow.
So I was able to look at the photos that he was showing me, and I told the FBI agent, I was like, I'm no investigator, but my intuition is telling me, based on how these people's facial hair looks like, it looks like the guy that was on camera at that house doing the kidnapping. And he honestly kind of just smirked and took a deep breath, and he was like, yeah, that's why I'm here. He was like, we're going to be going to different gun shops, checking to see if any of these names that I'm showing you here, any of these people have purchased a gun in the last year. And so my intuition was right. That's what he was here for. And then so I just went on to check on our system to see if any of those people that were on the sheet had been in here to buy a gun, but unfortunately none of them had.
All right. Let me remove this real quick. All right, guys, I am tired. I've almost been streaming for 3 hours today. So, what do you guys think? Do you think they're going to let the civilians search tomorrow, or do you think they're going to give them a problem? They're saying they have to have permits, but yet, yeah, thank you guys all for being here. I appreciate all of you for hanging out with me for three hours. Well, 2 hours and 45 minutes. So, yes, thank you all. You think they're going to let them search? Yeah, I hope so. I don't think they can deny it on public property. No, they can't deny them on public property. No. Yeah, I think there might be some problems, though. I do. It's sad. They should let the public search. I understand going on other people's properties, right? You definitely want to get the okay, get something in writing, right? Like, I'm not going to sue you if I fall and trip over a cactus or something. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. As long as the search anywhere but her neighborhood. Yeah, right? Yeah, I agree with that. Oh, thank you guys. I appreciate each and every one of you. Thank you so much for being here. And Yep, have them sign waivers. I agree. Thank you all. We will keep you guys updated. I appreciate you. And if you could please like the video on your way out. And if you want to share the video, I would really appreciate it. You guys are amazing for hanging out with me, and much love to each and every one of you. I will keep you updated with anything that comes out. And I really wish that I could find that video for you guys, because I wanted to play it on my way out, but I can't. I don't know. Like, it has this guy running through the yard throwing gloves everywhere. It's so freaking funny. I'll post it on my community post for you guys to watch. So, oh, thank you. Thank you. I look at old layers all messed up, crusty. Thank you. I'm glitching out because my computer's about to die. All right. Love you guys. Have a great night, and we will talk to all of you soon. Thank you so much for watching.